to have a healthy relationship, you must learn the principle of burying dead things. It's the principle of entry and exit on a daily basis. God shows you that if you're to continue to live, you must learn to exercise breathing. Breathing means what? You breathe out, they are necessary. You breathe out what? Carbon dioxide. Do you realize that carbon dioxide can kill? So you breathe out carbon dioxide and breathe in oxygen. So that is how you live. You release the unnecessary. When you are eating food, that was entrance. That was the season of entrance. Good things, food was giving you nutrients you need in your body. That was a season of entrance. Wherever there is a season of entrance, there is a season of exit. So the food goes through the mouth. It is beneficial at that season, at that particular moment. It begins to serve. When it serves its purpose within the body, it turns into feces. It turns into waste. So when it becomes waste, it has to be excreted. It has to exit. That's why God gave you the mouth entrance, and the other side is called the exit. So certain dead things must exit. So therefore, now when things are wastage, what exited, you don't find feces all over the streets. Waste dead things, because remember, this which has become feces, before it was good food, but after it is broken down and all the other nutrients and vitamins have been extracted from this food, it becomes dead and useless. So they call it feces. So it's supposed to be buried. So feces are not everywhere, it's buried. So now you realize that's a process of closure, putting closure. Nobody goes around parading feces everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? I am using that analogy to teach us that even when you come to a place of prayer, what is prayer? Prayer, we are breathing in the breath of God, and we are breathing out everything that is negative, everything that is unnecessary. It's a period, it's an opportunity for me to breathe in and out. What am I breathing? I surrender my aspirations. That is breathing out. I surrender my fears. That I'm breathing out fear, and I'm breathing in faith. I'm breathing in the love of God. I'm breathing in the grace of God. Where there was guilt, I breathe out guilt and the condemnation as I breathe in the love, the mercy, the forgiveness of God. You see, do you understand what I'm saying? So you learn to bring to closure the unnecessary. God said, forget the former things. Behold, I'm doing a new thing. What is he saying? He's saying to you, bury the issues of your yesterday. The Bible says that Joseph of Arimathea, he asked, give me Jesus's body so that I may bury it. We bury dead things. So it's important when you come to the altar. Now, that being said, how do you bury practically these things? When you come into a place of prayer like this, praying in tongues is breathing in the life of God, and as you breathe out, they are necessary. Are you hearing me? So that's and also prayer in itself. You are breathing in the word, the life of God, as you are releasing whatever has failed you. God says to you in Psalms 55:22, cast your burdens, cast your cares upon the Lord, cast the worries of the day, cast your anxieties, cast your worries and fears, lay them on the Lord's upon his feet. So you see, you cast down the burden, you cast down that which has overburdened you, that which is, what's a burden? Something that oppresses you, that bends you out of shape. When you carry a heavy burden, it bends you out of shape. It takes you out of shape. That which comes to mess about with your stature, with your frame, with your system and structure or order. So you come against it. You come to offload and say, I reject negative thinking. This is not any thought that comes to overburden you. What is an overburdening thought? What's an overburdening circumstance? Every circumstance, every thought and imagination that is contrary to who God says you are. That's a burden. Ladies and gentlemen, many times I say this, and my son and daughter look at each other. I say, I'm African, so I'm not, English is not my first language. That's why I always look at Words precisely. I study words. Why? In order to gain understanding, because definitions determine interpretation, and interpretation, your interpretation or perception is what determines your application. And if you misunderstand something, you misapply it. When you misapply yourself, the results are wrong. And then we go back to the drawing board. Did you understand? Because you have no control or mastery over what you don't understand. You can only regulate what you understand. That being said, he says, cast your burdens. When you come to the altar, it's a place of breathing in the life of God. So praying is connecting your life. Whenever you enter in the closet of prayer, you need to understand that the technology of prayer is a system, a divine system offered to God, offered by God to his children, offered by God to his children as a medium through which we can breathe out what is negative and breathe in what is positive. I want you to understand life functions on these two aspects: exit, entrance and exit. Every single day you breathe in, you breathe out. A healthy relationship, a healthy life must exhibit those key traits and the ingredients I'm talking about. Now you must learn to keep your relationship healthy. Do you know why many people cease to receive from their man of God? Because over familiarity will stop you. You don't realize that relationships to be kept healthy, you enter them today you enter, you get up in the morning. Even in marriage, your spouse becomes fresh, that when you wake up in the morning, the lady that left or the man that left your house and went to work, the moment she goes to work, whatever last conversation you had, that's when you exit your relationship with her. She goes to work. So when she's coming back, you enter again that relationship. What does it mean to enter? Now you enter back into each other's lives. You don't see her with the conflict with which she left in the morning, with the misunderstanding you left in the morning. You begin to embrace her as meeting a new person. She has come back. Be open, be ready to receive something new, not seeing her in the past. Many times, even people, when they don't understand the principle of entrance and exit, this is as to why many relationships fail. Many people fail to go past the pain of yesterday, because you still address the person of your yesterday the person of your present in light or in view of yesterday. Yesterday, let me tell you, yesterday Jacob was yesterday he was Jacob. Yesterday he was a con man. He was a conster. He was a fraudster. He was a liar. That's what the Jacob you knew. 20 years ago, he left Esau as a liar, as a thief, as a con man. Jacob left 20 years ago. He returns, but this time at that night, even as he returns, together with his family, all his children, his wives, still know him as Jacob, who a liar, a supplanter, a heel grabber, one who snatches other people, a snatcher of blessings. So in that one night, he has an encounter with God. So those who knew him yesterday still called him Jacob. Yet heaven knows him by a different name. Now he is Israel, prince with God. But you see, now you may miss out the transference of a mantle from an Israel, a prince with God, because you are stuck with the Jacob of yesterday, because you failed to exit the Jacob you knew yesterday. A person can go to bed today and wake up the next day the great prophet or prophetess you have never known. Your child can go to bed today as an ordinary child. She wakes up the next day as an extraordinary child. Many times, because we always feel people in the past. There was a time here in the sitting room that my son and daughter, somebody asked them a question, and my daughter began to answer, my son began to answer. Me and my wife became overwhelmed and said, are these our children? Because the frequency of wisdom at which they were speaking, we were just left marveled. And later I said, me and my wife were talking, do we really know who our children are? Why did we have that moment? because it is a tendency as a parent to always see them as your little boy, as your little girl, as yesterday. They change, even in terms of the mistakes they made yesterday. They are evolving, they are improving, they are listening. So exit and entrance is a very important issue. So when you understand that and then translate that with your understanding when you approach God in prayer, it brings you to a higher dimension of your prayer life, of your application in everything that you do.